Light is Britain's far-right conspiracy theory paper spreading hate and vicious lies. No, that's what the BBC say. The Light is the only national newspaper bringing you the real news and informed opinion on what's really going on today. You can subscribe, order copies, submit articles, and read back issues on our website, thelightpaper.co.uk, and see for yourself why the establishment are so worried about the uncensored truth getting out to people every month. The Light Paper. Not for right, just right so far. thelightpaper.co.uk.
Scene script. Have you ever pondered the idea of financial independence and early retirement? The notion of not having to clock in at 9 or wrestle with the daily grind? Imagine a life where you're not shackled by financial obligations or a demanding job. It's not an impossible dream, but a reality for those who embrace the FIRE movement. That's financial independence, retire early. Consider the tale of Jane, a woman in her early 30s. Jane was an ordinary person living an ordinary life. She had a 9-to-5 job, a mortgage, car payments, and a lifestyle that was comfortable but hardly extravagant. And like most people, she dreamed of a life where she didn't have to worry about money. Jane decided to make a change. She began by cutting back on non-essential expenses, saving as much of her income as possible. She invested wisely, focusing on assets that generated passive income that didn't require her to trade time for money. Slowly but surely, Jane began to build her financial independence. She was still working, but she was no longer living paycheck to paycheck. She had a safety net, a cushion that gave her the freedom to make choices based on what she wanted, not what she needed. Fast forward 10 years, Jane, now in her early 40s, had achieved her goal. She was financially independent. She had enough passive income to cover her living expenses, and she no longer needed to work to survive. She was free to retire early, to spend her time as she pleased. Jane's story may seem extraordinary, but it's not unique. It's the story of anyone who has embraced the principles of the FIRE movement. It's a tale of discipline, of sacrifice, and of a relentless pursuit of financial independence. To summarize, the key points discussed today revolve around the idea of financial independence and early retirement. It requires discipline and sacrifice, cutting back on non-essential expenses and saving as much as possible. It involves investing wisely, focusing on assets that generate passive income. But most importantly, it requires a change in mindset. It's about seeing money not as a means to buy things, but as a tool to buy freedom. It's about understanding the true value of time and the freedom that comes with not having to trade it for money. This is the essence of the FIRE movement. It's not just about retiring early, it's about achieving financial independence, about gaining the freedom to live life on your own terms. Like Jane, you too can embrace the principles of the FIRE movement and embark on a journey towards financial independence and early retirement. After all, the only thing standing between you and your financial freedom is you.
Ever wondered how much you'd need to save to achieve financial independence? The answer lies within the mathematics of a concept known as FIRE, which stands for Financial Independence, Retire Early. The most essential number in your journey to financial independence is calculated by multiplying your annual spend by 25. Notice the emphasis on annual spend, not annual income. This calculation is based on the principle that you need £300 invested for every pound you wish to spend each month in passive income. Hence, your FIRE number is also your monthly spend times 300. This mathematical principle is founded on the 4% safe withdrawal rate, as defined by financial advisor William Bengen. He proposed this rate after analyzing the S&P 500, which typically produces an average of better than 10% growth per year when studied over a period of approximately 30 years. Bengen considered factors such as inflation and market volatility. After studying previous market activity, he concluded that a 4% rate of withdrawal per year would provide for a 30-year sustainable portfolio in the vast majority of cases. So to paint a clearer picture, if your monthly spend is £1,000, then your target for financial independence is 300 times 1,000, or £300,000. Alternatively, if your annual spend is £12,000, your financial independence target is 25 times 12,000, which also equates to £300,000. The first step in planning your financial independence, therefore, lies in understanding your monthly and yearly expenditure. Without this knowledge, it is impossible to take further strides towards your financial freedom. In summary, the mathematics of FIRE revolves around the principle of multiplying your annual spend by 25 or your monthly spend by 300 based on the 4% safe withdrawal rate. Knowing your monthly and annual spend is crucial in determining the amount you need to save to achieve financial independence. Armed with this knowledge, you can then plan your journey towards financial freedom. Remember, the journey to financial independence is not a sprint, but a marathon. Embrace the mathematics of FIRE and take the first step towards your financial independence today.
Good morning, guys. It's 7:59 on Monday the 10th of November 2025. So market is just about to open, but if we just look to the top right of the screen, you'll see that the current price 95.75, the closing price on Friday was down 1.64%. And I believe that wasn't the only day that we'd seen a slight negative downturn. Now, it's not obvious whenever you look at the graph. I don't even think if we zoom in you can really see that, simply because it's in contrast to such significant rises in the days prior. But irrespective, that's where we're at. So I always just like to record where the market previously closed. Now, saying that, as I'm speaking, it has literally just opened with a jump of in around 2%. But anyway, currently we've completed 3 years and 32 weeks of what is roughly an 8-year FIRE journey, or FIRE experiment if you prefer. I mean that flip from 1.6%, was it, down to 2% up, just shows you the value, I suppose, of starting the video just a few seconds early, just in order to record where the market is actually at, and the fact that, you know, from one day to the next, things can be reversed, and value can be quickly put back again. Whenever I started this live this morning, the portfolio value was just under 30,000. As you can see here, it's now over it, 30,300. The return on investment is sitting at 34%. We have 310 shares in the portfolio, and the average purchase price is 72.74. If we look on down here, you can see the stats as regards price. So obviously for today we're sitting at a high currently. I think maybe did the market open at 95, it's now sitting at 97. Now, in all honesty, there's a number of things that can affect that, but probably the most important one is the weekend, basically time. the market has had time to adjust in a certain sense. In terms of the 52-week high, as you can see, the little arrow is still sitting right up there. So the highest price seen to date is 99.57, and within the past 52 weeks the market has been as low as £70.73. I don't believe there's much point in going over these other statistics because they generally refer to a point in time, whether 1 year, 3 years or 5 years ago, and it's not necessarily representative of the whole. But there you can see the kind of top shares that make up the S&P 500. So currently Nvidia at the very top, followed by Microsoft, then Apple, then Alphabet, not sure what the class C refers to, but finally Amazon. Right, before we have a look at the notifications, let me just draw your attention to Monzo.
I want a bank that makes money easy.
That sounds perfectly reasonable.
And you are?
We're a bank called Monzo.
I want a bank that shows me what I spend instantly.
No problem, just give us a go. See?
Can you make splitting bills easy?
Super easy, check this out.
But it's a real faff to sign up.
It takes less than 10 minutes.
Race you.
You're on.
Can I talk to a real person 24/7?
Of course.
Even now?
Yep.
Even now?
Anytime.
Can you tell me when I'm running a little low on cash?
We certainly can.
Cool. Can I afford these?
You certainly can't, sorry. Can't afford that either.
That's a real shame.
Not really. Time's up, how'd you get on?
It's a draw.
Can you help me save for my next holiday?
Oh, how about you set up a savings pot in the Monzo app called Barbados, baby?
Thanks for listening, Monzo.
We're all ears.
We can go now.
Rude. You make Monzo Monzo.
Okay, as mentioned on screen there are affiliate links in the description for the video that you could have a look at should you choose to get some benefit out of those, and obviously as they're affiliate links I would benefit too. Guys, with that said, let's have a look at the notifications today. Biggest stocks before earnings: KE, Barrick Mining, Venture Global, Tyson Foods, Caspi.kz, Monster Beverage up 7% after beating third quarter expectations. Take-Two Interactive down 5% after pushing back GTA 6, is that Grand Theft Auto 6 launch to November 26. Rightmove down 14% after slashing 2026 profit forecast amid heavy investment in AI. ITV rallies 14% after confirming talks with Sky over broadcasting unit sale. That's interesting, certainly that last one interesting from the point of view of ITV being a major terrestrial broadcaster, historically at least. Sky obviously in the UK, as far as I'm aware, began as B Sky B, for a satellite broadcaster to provide an offering in the UK, obviously subsequently known as Sky, and probably I would think doing as much online these days as they are by satellite, at least in terms of content watched, I would imagine. I could be wrong, but it's interesting to see the way that this could go towards consolidation. I'm not saying that it will, but interesting. I wasn't aware that that was a possibility. I suppose there's I don't know if there's really much of a chance that the if we still have a Monopolies and Mergers Commission, whether they might want to have a look at that. I would think that the body that might end up looking at it might be more the DCMS in government, or I'm just trying to think who the regulator would be. Regulator for broadcasters, Ofcom. So yes, I wouldn't be surprised if there's not some sort of comment from Ofcom in the not too distant future. DCMS, Department of Culture, Media and Sport, is the department I'm thinking of there as regards whether or not it's reasonable for Sky to take over such a large competitor, and does that weaken the offering available to the British public. Right, with all that said, guys, let's get on and do this week's investment. So if you watch the channel regularly, you'll know that each week I buy stock in the Vanguard S&P 500 exchange traded fund. We're looking at it here on the Trading 212 practice platform. And each week I put in 120 theoretical pounds. Today that should buy us roughly 1.2 shares. I trade on the open market, so it's a market buy, no stops, no limits, anything like that. There's no commission, so we will send it through. It has executed at 97.66 and we did buy 1.22 shares. So these the prices that you see here are accurate. This is the current trading price of the stock, even though this is the practice platform. The only difference that I've been able to spot so far is that on the practice platform you don't get the benefit of dividends, but apart from that, it seems to be pretty accurate, pretty reflective of what it would really be like if you were making these trades for real. So the figures have updated here. So with the new figures, then the portfolio value is now sitting at 30,400. The return on investment is still 34%, and we now have 311 shares in the portfolio with an average purchase price of 72.84. And quite honestly, guys, that is really going to be it for this week. I do a stream each week. I invest £120 each week, which is going to take roughly 8 years to exhaust. So as I say, currently we're 3 years and 32 weeks through that process. And I think things aren't going too badly. Anyway, as I say, I will be back next week with more. If you particularly enjoyed this episode, why not give it a thumbs up, and if you'd like to follow the journey, please subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching,